The Reckoning of Grace Thompson. In the bustling terminal of Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, a 30-second video changed everything. Grace Thompson, a black CEO, was dragged down the aisle of a Southern Skies Airlines flight, blood dripping from her forehead onto her tailored blazer. The footage, captured by a passenger's smartphone, went viral, exposing a raw act of injustice that would unravel a $5 billion deal and ignite a corporate revolution. This is the story of how one woman's humiliation became a catalyst for systemic change, a tale that will make you question the price of dignity in corporate America. Grace Thompson wasn't born with a silver spoon. Raised in the heart of Memphis, Tennessee, in a neighborhood where dreams often clashed with reality, she watched her mother, Evelyn, juggle 3 jobs: mornings at a hospital cafeteria, afternoons cleaning offices downtown, and weekends at a 24-hour diner. Every penny went toward Grace's education. By age 12, Grace was coding on a second-hand computer her mother bought with 6 months of tips. Her teachers saw her brilliance and pushed for a scholarship to Oakwood Academy, an elite private school where she was one of the few black students. At Oakwood, Grace faced skepticism. Despite acing entrance exams, teachers questioned her scores, classmates excluded her, and administrators scrutinized her work. In her sophomore year, a math teacher accused her of cheating after she solved a complex algebra problem creatively. It took her mother taking unpaid leave to clear her name. "You have to be undeniable," Grace later told MIT graduates. She became just that: valedictorian, MIT scholarship recipient, and a dual degree holder in computer science by 22. Her career at TechTrend, a Silicon Valley giant, was a battleground. Grace's innovations saved millions, but her ideas were often credited to others. Promotions went to less qualified white colleagues, and microaggressions like being called articulate or a diversity hire were constant. After developing a cybersecurity protocol that revolutionized the company, she was passed over for CTO in favor of a white male colleague who relied on her expertise. That night, Grace cleared her desk and vowed to build something better. She founded SecurePath with her savings and a mentor's investment. Her vision: predictive security systems using AI to stop breaches before they happened. Within 5 years, SecurePath grew from her apartment to a $2 billion enterprise. Banks cut fraud by 87%, and government agencies boosted threat detection by 93%. Grace's leadership was tough but fair, fostering a diverse workforce and mentoring underrepresented talent. When Southern Skies Airlines approached SecurePath for a $5 billion security overhaul across 43 countries, it was the deal of a lifetime. The night before her flight to Chicago to finalize the contract, Grace worked until 3 a.m. on revisions. She boarded Southern Skies Flight 214, first-class seat 2A, in a navy suit, her briefcase holding the deal's future. As she reviewed slides, a commotion erupted. Robert Hargrove, a white man in a pinstripe suit, loomed over her. "You're in my seat," he snapped, though his boarding pass showed 7C in economy. Grace calmly showed her ticket. "This is 2A. My seat." Hargrove, a Southern Skies board member, signaled flight attendant Linda Carter. Without checking Grace's ticket, Carter sided with Hargrove. "There's a mix-up, ma'am. Let's see your ID." Grace complied, but Carter's tone grew icy. "Maybe you'd be willing to move. Mr. Hargrove prefers this seat." Grace refused politely, citing her need to work. Passengers began filming as tension rose. Carter returned with 2 air marshals, John Riley and Mark Evans. "This passenger is uncooperative," Carter lied. Grace protested. "I'm in my assigned seat." Riley leaned in. "Move to economy or leave the plane." Grace requested a supervisor, calling the treatment discriminatory. Riley's face hardened. "You're deplaning." What happened next shocked the cabin. Riley and Evans grabbed Grace's arms, yanking her from her seat. Her head hit the overhead bin, slicing her forehead. Blood trickled down as her glasses shattered. Passengers gasped. Some shouted, "She's done nothing wrong." A nurse offered help but was ordered to sit. Grace's pleas for her briefcase holding the $5 billion contract were ignored as they dragged her, one shoe missing, through the aisle. Linda Carter smirked by the exit. In the terminal, Grace, bleeding and disoriented, was paraded through crowds. Bystanders whispered, assuming guilt. "Probably attacked someone," one muttered. In a security room, she was detained for 3 hours without medical care. Officers mocked her claim of being a CEO. "Sure, and I'm Elon Musk." Her phone and briefcase remained on the plane, now en route to Chicago. Meanwhile, 23-year-old journalism graduate Maya Johnson, seated in economy, had filmed everything. She interviewed witnesses, edited a 12-minute video on the flight, and posted it with the caption, "Black woman brutally removed from Southern Skies flight despite valid ticket." Racial targeting confirmed. By landing, the video had 1 million views. By evening, 40 million. Southern Skies' response was tone-deaf. A disruptive passenger was removed for safety. "We're investigating." Public outrage exploded. Boycott Southern Skies trended, and the airline's stock plummeted 22%, erasing $4 billion in value. News outlets identified Grace as SecurePath's CEO, tying the incident to the $5 billion deal. Corporate clients threatened to cut ties, and the NAACP issued a travel advisory for Black passengers. In a San Francisco hotel suite, Grace, now with 7 stitches and a concussion, rallied her team. Her executive assistant, Marcus Reed, arranged legal and medical support. General counsel Dr. Aisha Coleman uncovered a bombshell. Hargrove had orchestrated the incident. Emails showed he questioned SecurePath's background as a Black-owned firm and accessed Grace's itinerary to book the same flight. A text to Carter read, "First Class 2A. Need your assistance." Grace refused a settlement. "This isn't about me," she told her team. "This happens daily to people without my platform. We're demanding systemic change." She outlined a bold plan. The $5 billion contract would include legally binding reform, anti-bias training, a diverse oversight board, equitable hiring, and public accountability. Noncompliance would trigger penalties. At a press conference, Grace stood, bruises visible, and spoke with resolve. "I was dragged off that plane not because I was wrong, but because a white man wanted my seat, and the system assumed I was the problem." Her composure shifted the narrative from victim to visionary. Social media erupted with support, and Grace Thompson leadership trended. In Chicago, Grace faced Southern Skies CEO, William Baxter, in a tense meeting. Hargrove's emails and Carter's 17 prior discrimination complaints buried by management strengthened her case. When Hargrove stormed in, accusing Grace of extortion, her team revealed his scheme. Baxter, horrified, signed the revised contract, committing to reforms and a $10 million scholarship fund for Black aviation students. 6 months later, Southern Skies was transformed. Discrimination complaints dropped 47%, Black leadership rose from 4% to 11%, and Carter and Riley were fired. Hargrove faced lawsuits and federal probes. Grace's foundation funded an industry-wide discrimination report, sparking congressional hearings. On a Southern Skies flight home, the captain acknowledged her role in the airline's reform, and passengers applauded. Grace's humiliation had birthed a blueprint for accountability, specific commitments, independent oversight, and transparent metrics. Her foundation expanded to tackle discrimination in hotels and healthcare, ensuring her leverage protected those without her resources. Southern Skies became a model, proving change was possible when financial stakes aligned with moral imperatives. What's your take on Grace's story? Have you witnessed or experienced injustice or violence in everyday life, on a flight, at work, or elsewhere? Share your thoughts in the comments and take a stand. How can we hold corporations accountable for systemic wrongs? Your voice matters. Let's keep this conversation alive.